Hello and welcome to the zoo. I'm the keeper tonight, Lucky Pop-Tart, and with me I have my co-host, Della.
Yo and hello.
Costin. Hello and welcome to the zoo.
Hello, wonderful, wonderful seeming and wonderful adjacent people.
And Johnny Hellcat, our kitty in hell. Oh, that was me.
National Health Correspondent.
I don't think we have anyone in chat yet, but that's fine. How are y'all doing?
Better than I deserve.
My computer's already getting on my nerves. There you go.
I was going to say, waiting, but probably yes.
Huh?
I was going to say there are 4 waiting, but it's probably yes.
Yeah. Now there's 2, so I think 2 of us left to chat. That's fine. I'm still good. And I tweeted it out. I don't know if anyone else did, so maybe we'll get some people watching. I think Monkey's still going, so.
Oh, no, I think we ended.
Either way. The important thing is we're here now, and that's all that matters.
Yes. Yeah. How are y'all doing? I know I said how are y'all doing, but like, whose anniversary is it? Is it ours?
Yeah, it's ours.
I did not know that.
Oh my gosh, Poppy, you need to pay attention.
I did not know I was hosting the anniversary stream. Oops.
Feel the pressure.
My bad, y'all.
That's all good. I don't think we made sure we were all remembered like we normally do.
Way to break stereotypes, Poppy.
Hey, I'm autistic with ADHD. I'm surprised I remember my own birthday.
I didn't even know it was the anniversary.
I didn't either.
I knew it was coming when I saw Rejects post on that one server. I think it was yesterday, if not within the last few days. Time blends together when you're as lazy and ill-scheduled as I am.
I've had a really crazy week. I've hardly even been on Discord.
But yeah, I knew it was coming up because I seen Reject post a picture of a birthday cake. So I'm like, oh, well, I know what that means, and I also know what's coming up soon.
How many years is it now?
Okay, that's where I'm gonna laugh at anyone who expects me to know.
Hey, check. How many years is it now?
Atta girl.
Chuck will know. Chuck knows everything.
I mean, I could easily just do this. Oh, Chuck says 4.
4?
See, I was going to guess 5, but yeah.
Dude, I thought it was like 3.
Happy birthday, minions of the zoo. Happy birthday, minions of the zoo.
Johnny's cat's flinching.
Minions of the zoo.
Am I tripping balls over here?
Always.
Your cat was literally flinching as soon as he started singing.
This is why you don't dip into the nip before the stream, bruh.
Who are you talking to me?
I can only do so much.
I don't know. Are you high on catnip too?
Oh,
maybe.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I'm still trying to find my CBD vape. It got lost.
Ooh, that's not cool.
I lose everything.
Fair enough.
I was actually talking to Chris a little earlier, and I was like, I kind of want to go see if I can go get medicated. Like, I haven't been on ADHD medicine since I was 13, and honestly, it might be a good idea. I can't go a day without going, where the fuck did I put, half the shit in my life? Chris actually did a test with my sister's father-in-law, because he's like, there's no way it's that bad. Kristen, I was standing in their yard in the grass, nothing around me, right? And he's like, hey, baby, hold this lighter for me. And I'm like, okay. And he walked off, came back 5 minutes later with everybody watching me. I didn't know what was happening. And he's like, where's the lighter? And I'm like, fuck. I just started looking around. And they're like, there's literally nothing around you. How did you lose it? And I'm like, I don't know. Chris is like, everything magically disappears if she's not staring at it. If you hand her something, tell her to stare at it till you get back. It will still be there. If she doesn't look at it, it will be gone. And yeah, he's pretty much right. If I'm not staring at something, I have no idea where it goes. It's just gone. It's a ongoing family joke that the fairies take it.
Oh, that takes me back to the childhood. Fucking sleeping over at my grandmother's house when I was a kid. She had this one room, one of the guest rooms, she called it the magic room. It's like, she'd always tell us as kids, like, this is where the fairies and the leprechauns all come and make sure you sleep well and shit like that. It was just fucking
Was she Irish?
She was born in Ireland, yeah.
Yeah.
She was the only one in her family born in Ireland, so.
Yeah. We have there's a tradition of leaving whiskey out for the fairies. That way they don't steal your shit.
Oh, see, my grandparents have a similar tradition, except they leave it out for me. So I don't drink my grandfather's shit.
I need to pick up a bottle. It's been a while.
Man, I still haven't drank, aside from when I go visit family because they strongly insist, and I feel bad that they keep spending their money on alcohol for me no matter how much I protest. But other than that, I stopped drinking probably about November-ish.
Actually, I haven't drank in quite a long time, really. I had a couple beers over the weekend, and I think before that, it had maybe been about 4 months.
I'm having a beer now, so.
Yeah,
Must be nice.
I drink every 2 weeks.
Hey, fair enough.
Like every time I stream, I have well, I can't say it's like a regular size beer. I buy one of the 40s from the, store. Or a Buzzball.
Oh yeah, I would just go and grab myself the liters of whiskey that lasts me about a week and a half tops, give or take. But that's just because I would just drink it for the sake of drinking it.
Yeah. No, everyone thinks I drink a lot, especially after I explain I have bed rum, which is the rum that's under my bed. But to be fair, it's been under my bed for a year now. So it's not like I drink it all the time. It's just an emergency bed rum.
Exactly.
You never know when you're going to wake up with a night terror and need a shot. It's
Or heaven forbid, you're bedridden for whatever reason and can't get up to go get yourself a bottle out of the kitchen.
I'm actually really careful about how much of anything I consume because my family has a lot of addiction problems. I will openly admit I am an addict to caffeine and nicotine. I know this.
Oh yes, I have proudly surrendered myself to nicotine far before I was actually addicted to it.
It turns out that self-medicating for people with ADHD because caffeine and nicotine will both calm down your brain.
Oh. If
you have ADHD.
Oh.
So it's like, oh, I've been self-medicating this whole time. Makes sense. So, yeah, alcohol never really had that much of an appeal to me. I mean, like, I'll drink, but it's not like something I have to do all the time or even want to do all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Just like when I have to socialize, it helps me do the talking.
Yeah.
I'm not big on socialization.
Right.
I'm proudly breaking stereotypes. I'm actually quite the happy drunk.
That's good.
I know what you mean. I am like that too.
Did you bed together? Yay! A very happy Willow just waddled into my room.
Nice.
She bought a new bed recently and couldn't get it together, so Chris just did it for her.
Who needs a bed? Floor's the best bed you'll ever have.
Yeah, who needs to get it together either?
Oh my god, getting it together is for people with motivation and shit.
Gross.
Imagine having ambitions.
She's attempting to get her life together.
Ew.
Stella said, ew.
Like, who the hell wants to be a productive member of society these
That
days?
or
Come on.
Stepping on sewing needles.
Keep her down.
Hey.
Hey, Keith.
You guys talking about alcohol?
A little bit, yeah.
Huh. I still have a bottle of Moscato in my fridge that I haven't even opened yet. It's been sitting in there for like a couple of weeks now.
I still have a Guinness in the refrigerator, and I forget about it all the time. Like, I went and bought a Wicked Ale, and I have a bottle of Guinness in there. I've had it for 5 months.
I have a bottle of Jaeger from a couple of Christmases ago.
Yeah.
And I do have a bottle of whiskey, but as I said earlier, that's for the metaphorical fairies, not me.
Mm-hmm.
And a little bit of Kahlua left. That's for my bad days at work. I come home and drink milk and Kahlua.
Someone's talking shit in the background.
That's my kitty cat.
He's probably wondering why there's a cat on fire.
I'm not on fire. That's on fire.
That's my girl. Hey, sweetie.
Yeah, we have a cat now, too. He's very vocal, which is weird.
Is he Siamese?
No, he's a tabby.
Oh.
Oh, I think Reject's here.
Hey, Reject.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Good. How are you? Happy birthday. Or anniversary or whatever.
Well, it's both. I mean, technically it's both. Yesterday was my birthday, and today's our stream anniversary. So
happy all of
was
the
yesterday. I
above.
saw it. Nice.
Yeah, I remembered your birthday's right, but I just forgot today was the anniversary, so that meant yesterday was your birthday, and I have zoned out completely. So happy birthday and happy anniversary.
thank you.
How
My
you
cousin's birthday was on the 12th.
doing? Well, happy birthday to your cousin too.
Happy
Thank
birthday
you.
to your cousin. My one of my brother's roommates' birthday is on the 13th, and she annoys the shit out of me, and so she's always like, but so anyways, so she's always like, "Are you gonna come to my birthday party?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not. I come to this location to see my brother, not you. So no, I'm not coming to your birthday party." Because she annoys the shit out of me. She acts like when I'm there to do their little handyman jobs.
Mm.
Do you do my handyman job?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes. I barely do my own handy person jobs.
Yeah.
Handyman jobs are easy.
I only do
Used to
plumbing.
it.
I tried to put a doorknob on, that didn't go well.
Doorknobs are easy.
I can change out a toilet, but I can't change out a doorknob. We have learned this.
Well,
It would help if I had a screwdriver.
Yeah.
I did not have a screwdriver at the time, so I was using a pocket knife. Chris brought home a screwdriver and fixed it.
good on Chris.
But yeah, my cousin didn't really do anything for his birthday. He doesn't like drawing attention to himself.
Yeah, that's like Chris. He has a cake on his birthday, that's it. And that's only because I make him.
My line leader's birthday was my line
No,
leader's
go
birthday. Okay, my line leader's birthday was also on the same day at the. She's not my supervisor, but she kind of oversees our line at work, and so she had donuts, and so I brought a donut home for him.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
See, I've managed to go 17 years without having to work on my birthday.
Mm.
And I've been informed that since the Iowa State Fair coincides with my birthday, it's kind of mean of me to take my birthday off for the whole week.
Hmm.
And I've said in response that it's not my fault that the state has decided to celebrate my birth during my birth. I can't control this. It's just a happy coincidence.
That is the best response.
Mm.
The only response.
Yeah. Willow kind of has the same thing for 4th of July. she always asks for the 3rd and the 4th off, and they're like, "You can't take the 4th of July off." And she's like, "It's my 2nd birthday. Yes, I can." Which, I mean, for anyone who doesn't know, the reason she thinks she has 2 birthdays is because when she was very, very little, the racetrack out here does fireworks on the 3rd and the 4th. So we would take her out to the bridge to watch the fireworks on the 3rd for her birthday, and we would tell her, like, she thought it was for her birthday. And so when they would happen again the next day, she thought it was her 2nd birthday. And she knows now that's not what it really is, but she'll still say it. She's like, "Happy my 2nd birthday."
I mean, that works.
So
I never worked on my birthday. Ever.
See, it's the best. Check. See, I was kind of the opposite. I was already 2 weeks late, and then the day before, they were gonna induce my mom on, I believe, the 15th, and she started going into contractions. See, I'm very finicky about my birthdays, and I was actually nearly born on Friday the 13th, so this is one of my special years because I actually got my birthday on a day that, on Saturday, which was the day I was born in the week as well. But they sent her back home on Friday the 13th, and then, finally around midnight, they started freaking out because apparently she was like 11 centimeters dilated by the time they finally let her stay at the hospital. And
I thought
she
it
had
only went. I thought it only went to 10.
Maybe it was 8 pushing 9. I don't know. I don't really know. I know that she had 124 stitches and it wasn't a C-section.
Yeah,
So-
I told them not to tell me how many stitches there were. I was like, I don't want to know.
You probably came out like my youngest. I just kicked that door wide open.
Well, I told her clearly I didn't want to leave. Clearly, I was 2 weeks late. Clearly, I wanted to stay. I did not want to leave.
So you're like Willow. She literally put her arms up to try to stay in. The doctor was so mad at me, and I'm like, I'm not doing it. Stop yelling at me.
Yeah, my youngest came out like the Kool-Aid Man. It was
It's always the
Graphic.
youngest.
graphic.
It's always the youngest, man.
Well, and I am the youngest. I was the youngest of her birth children.
I swear, Angel Army crawled out. I wasn't even pushing. She was just coming out. Freaked the doctors out. They're like, "Stop pushing." I'm like, "Do I look like I'm doing anything?" And Willow was the opposite. They kept screaming at me to push, and I'm like, "Dude, can you see what I'm doing? I'm turning purple. I'm going to kick you in the face." And then they've always been opposites from birth. Willow, she wouldn't come out, and Angel wouldn't wait to come out. The doctor wasn't even at the hospital yet.
I'd say you gotta love it, but I don't ever plan on having kids of my own, so I don't have to worry about it.
Right? Hey, my kids are on the same boat. They're like, "Yeah, no babies. If I have a baby, I will adopt." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's fine." I am not one of those people who are like, "My kids have to have kids so I can have grandbabies." I'm like, "Yeah, this is probably not the genetics we want to spread. Adopt."
See, I told my mom that Omi would be her grandchild. That's the only grandchild I'm providing her with, so that it is what it is, and she's accepted that. How about everybody else? How's everybody else doing?
All right.
I'm good. I'm doing good. But I am gonna move away from my computer, so I'm gonna talk to you big chat, but I'm gonna leave the stream off.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
muffled already.
I'm borrowing a dog igloo from my ex to try for our dog at the house, so that we can get him to not pee on everything inside the house while we're gone. So yeah, we got it from there. We cleaned it up a bit. He still smells the other dog that was in there, so it's kind of like, okay, where is this dog? And yeah, he's very cautious about going in, but we, threw some snacks in there, and yeah, he went in. He didn't stay, but he went in. So we're, baby steps.
Yeah. My dog hates dogs. Like with a passion. She absolutely hates all. She likes cats. We think it's because when she's a midget, a dwarf, and all her siblings were really, really big, and they bullied her. And then we took her, and we had cats, and the cats were nice to her and around her size. So now she thinks she's a cat.
Omi, I can't tell if Omi likes other dogs or not. I'll be honest with you. I know that he doesn't like it when they hang around the outside of the fence of our yard. He is not at all happy about that.
Well, yeah, that's his yard.
Right. But strangely enough, like when the people that bought the house to the north of me, when they were looking at the house, he didn't bark at them at all. He would, he was perfectly fine with them looking around at the house. But if somebody goes down the alleyway or something, or if somebody's walking down the front of the yard, he's more than happy to let me know about it. And the neighbors, the people that did end up buying the house, so now my neighbors, they had commented when they were looking at the house about how he doesn't bark at him. I'm like, he honestly, best I can tell is he knows when somebody's supposed to be someplace and when they're not. And when they're not, I get to hear about it.
Yep. Our dog is the neighborhood Karen. So everyone hates him. Like, because he barks at everything. Like,
yeah, I had dogs like that.
Yeah, our dog's kind of that way. She'll be sitting at the window, and like people will be walking down the street, and she'll start barking at them, and I'm like, they're allowed to be outside. Stop it. And then she'll do that like quiet barking, like that. She'll just be over there making fussy sounds, and I'm like, well, they don't even have a dog with them. Why are you upset?
I know one of Omi's biggest problems is the fact that he that there's people there and they're not paying attention to him.
Yeah.
He is like, but Mom, they're supposed to be petting me and showing me adulation, and I'm like, dude, that's not the way that works.
My dog tries to go home with everybody in a car. Every time anybody walks out and gets in their car, she tries to hop up in there with them.
Well, I mean, maybe someday.
It really, really freaks out the, neighbors. I don't think they like dogs. And now they're surrounded by dogs because the people right next to them just moved in, and they have a dog. It's a German Shepherd. And then the people down next to them have a husky that stands on their doghouse all the time, which is like that dog could jump the fence so easy because he hops on the doghouse and it's only 3 inches of fence over his doghouse. I'm like, that dog could have left anytime he felt like it. He just doesn't. So yeah, this is not a good place to live if you don't like dogs. There's a lot of them here. I feel kind of bad for them because they always look scared every time they go outside. I'm like, don't worry, she's loud, but she's nice, I promise. She's just very vocal. She talks.
Cat Sparrow showed up, huh?
Yes.
Oh, man. The funniest thing happened. One of my neighbors came out and talked to Josie. They're like, oh, it's a beautiful day, isn't it, puppy? And my dog can kind of talk. So she said, I don't know, in dog form, like Scooby. And they were like, did your dog just talk? Oh, my God. I'm like, yeah, she does that sometimes. And they're just like, oh my god. And she also says no sometimes too. So one time they walked by and said, "Can I steal your cat?" And she ran out and yelled no at them. Because that's her cat.
They shouldn't have asked if they could steal the cat.
And they're just like, okay, I'm really weirded out by your family, just to let you know. And I'm like, understandable. I understand that. I felt
lady get in line.
Right. I felt really bad for the maintenance men because they were doing a foundation check. Because, you know, in my city, there's a lot of foundation problems. We're near a fault line, and there's a lot of hills and things move. And they came on a day I had my niece. So, like, anyways, they're walking around in our house. They came, like, at 9 o'clock in the morning. And I'm cleaning the kitchen, and I opened the door. I said, okay, I'm going to be cleaning the whole time you get here. I just got off work. Everybody else is sleeping, and the dog is losing her shit, so good luck. And I just walked off. And I went to room, and I woke everyone up, and I'm like, hey, the maintenance men are going to be coming in here. Is everyone dressed? And I covered up Chris's butt because he wasn't waking up. And apparently he uncovered it. Because, you know, when he's sleeping, his pajamas slip down. And so, anyways, they're just walking around looking uncomfortable as hell. And I went in Willow's room, and she just redecorated her room, and she has a murder wall. So it's like a lot of pages and maps and pictures with the red string going up all over it. I was like, oh, you have a murder wall. And she's like, yeah, it's all Jack the Ripper stuff. And I'm like, oh, really? And I'm looking at it, and I'm talking about how cold it is. You just hear the maintenance men talking to each other, like, and one's laughing. And then they go in Willow's room and see the murder wall and everything. And there's just a whole bunch of half unconscious teenage girls everywhere. And one man who's so knocked out, it doesn't even look like he's breathing. And I'm like, I feel kind of like after they left, I looked around and I'm like, you know, they just think they came into a house full of witches or something, and we have some unconscious man.
They can think what they want.
It was just funny because even you could hear them outside, and as soon as they closed the door, you heard, what the fuck? It was funny. Hey, they haven't evicted us yet, so, you know.
That's always good.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to. They were supposed to have moved my brother on the 4th of this month, and now I'm being told that it's gonna have to be the 8th of September. And frankly, I can't wait because the place that he's living at right now, they have it so that each complex or whatever, however you want to look at it, they only get one assigned parking spot per apartment, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And if you park any place that is not an assigned parking spot for your space, your vehicle can get towed. So to go visit my brother, I have to park like almost 2 blocks away technically, or risk having my vehicle towed.
Ah, that sucks.
And then on top of that, he's got the one roommate that can talk, and basically, in my opinion, she comes off like an older woman.
Yeah.
Not quite, but you know, like you can definitely tell there is some sort of actual disability there, but I mean like mental fuck up disability, not just like a physical one or whatever. And then the other one, she's nonverbal, potentially slightly higher functioning than my brother. I'm not quite sure, but she's a little fucking hot. And so, like, when I've tried to do food and stuff, like where I'll take enough food for the roommates plus my brother and like my mom and me if we go, then she just digs in and like eats almost 2 people's worth of food before anybody else has even had a chance, and it annoys the shit out of me.
No, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Hey, I know living in group areas is difficult. I work a memory care unit with a bunch of people, And one person is now moving out to assisted living side of the building, even though he does have dementia, because the people keep going in his room, and his family's really mad about that, and they'll like get in his mini fridge. And the most recent thing was one of our residents who was in an argument with him later that day came in and peed on his floor in front of him.
Oh.
And they were like, yeah, no, he's not staying here anymore. And they're like, we can move him to the regular side if that helps. Because he's not that bad. Like, we don't think he's... Mostly, if you're going to be in the lockdown unit, it's because you have the possibility of running away.
Yeah.
And we don't think he will, so we're going to test it out and see how it works. So, but yeah, it can be very frustrating, and I understand that because, you know, when you have like 2 workers and a lot of people, you know, you can't always control what's going on where.
Right. And I do overall, like, I want to say that overall I do totally get that. At the same time, you know, it's like trying to get the one woman to understand that I'm not there to be their own personal fucking maintenance person.
Right.
And stuff like that is just annoying as all get out.
No, I can imagine.
Speaking of assisted living, my grandma broke her hip last week.
Oh no.
I'm so sorry.
Thanks. And she was in the hospital, but I guess she's gonna stay living by herself. And with my cousin, who just moved in with me, he's gonna be going there 7 days a week until she gets better. A few nights ago, she called me at 2 a.m. to wake him up because she couldn't get out of her recliner because she was on a pillow and she couldn't reach the lever thing that puts down the foot part of the recliner. So, yeah. Yeah.
There's things that you can, I'm gonna say make, but I know you can also buy that can extend that arm. I'm not saying that so that, you know, like I'm more saying that so that if she gets in that problem again, like if she has to go to the bathroom or something, then she can potentially have an easier time of trying to achieve.
Yeah. There's also the electronic ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the best thing for elderly people ever because, you know, they'll lay all the way back and they'll also go all up quite a bit so it's easier to stand. And it has a remote attached to a really long cord so you don't have to reach for anything.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. She's been sleeping in her recliner because her apartment building recently became infested with bed bugs, and so she's been checking her, you know, mattress for them, and she found two dead ones, and she had the box spring on the floor, and I guess she forgot about it, and that's when she tripped over it and fell and broke her hip.
Oh no.
Oh my
I'm so
God.
sorry.
Thanks. She's 92 years old, but she's a trooper. But yeah, that building has been going downhill for years now. I think it's because the former manager left and they got a new one. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's strong though.
Only
And she even as a smoker, she's still, you know, she's mentally clear and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I take care of some people who are like they're like 98 and you would never guess it, like by the way they act and look and everything.
Mhm.
I would have never known. Like this one guy's like, when I fought in World War II, I was like, what? It's like, wait a minute.
Also, hi, Check.
Yes, Jack. Hi.
It's right.
Were you
my-
busy today?
My
Jack?
my grandfather he lied to go to World War II.
Yeah, apparently this guy did too because he was very, very young. But he went.
My grandfather was too old.
So they pulled Mulan's.
Yeah, they just lied.
World War II was
Okay.
one of the biggest ones for people to lie for getting into.
Yeah, they didn't really check a lot.
Well, no, they checked. It was just all you needed was a note from, you know, that was from your like parents, and that had been notarized, and so they would just go forge their parents' signature, and then they find a way to get it notarized, saying that they were old enough to be able to go to war, and they still tried to check to make sure that not too many young people. But month maybe 2 months back, Mr. Ballin had did a video on a guy that got into the Army when he was like 15 years old. And then there's the video called movie called Too Young the Hero, about the guy that was 13. Actually, he was 12 when he got in. They ended up discharging him basically when he was 13. And it took until like the 90s before his medals were actually restored to him, and he went into the Navy.
Yeah. Oh, the old man I took care of for a long time, that he had 2 sets of records, and we couldn't figure out why. And it turns out, initially when he was 16, he stole his brother's birth certificate and joined the Army as his brother. And then later, while he was in war, they figured out what happened, but he was already in Vietnam, and they were like, fuck it, and just let him stay. And then later, they switched all his stuff over to his actual name. And he got in trouble for it. He did get, he got some marks and everything, but they let him stay in the military because they kind of needed people at that point.
Right.
Were you busy today, Chuck?
Not really. I was just lazy.
Oh, because usually you're busy on Sundays. Or is it 50-50?
The answer is I just never know.
Oh, okay. It's a gamble.
Pretty much.
Yeah. My other cat's laying in the corner of my room.
Yeah.
Peter.
Yeah, we only have 3 pets now, which seems like a lot to people, but yeah, it's a lot less than we used to have. We have Bart the turtle, who we just found out is a female. And then we have Salem Willow's kitten that she found in a bush, and Josie, our dog.
I have 3 cats, so I guess those are my 3 pets.
We're down to just Omi and Biddy. George died in the end of winter, beginning of spring, and
March.
Something in there. George had died, and that wasn't a fun time for me.
Yeah,
but on the the bright side of that, I ended up so he had passed away in the overnight on a Wednesday. I got home early Thursday morning. I had to bury him. And then when I got up Thursday afternoon, one of my employees had called in out in Omaha. So I was at the shop, getting ready to head out to Omaha. I told one of my coworkers, both my new boss and my old boss were there, but I had told one of my coworkers that, my cat had died. And so then she went in, and she told my bosses that, what was going on. And so my new boss came out and informed me that I was not going out to Omaha that night, that I was going to go home, and that I was not to go into work because I wasn't in any shape to be going to work that day. So
that was nice.
Really nice.
Yeah,
they were considerate.
It was one of the things that kept me working for my current boss.
Yeah, because a lot of people. Yeah, they are. I was just gonna say a lot of bosses wouldn't care if it's a pet,
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, I think that's increasing, like pet grievance or something.
Yeah, but also my work. Most of the people at my job knows that it's my mom, my brother, and then my pets. And overall, I don't really have a whole lot of other family that, I mean, they exist, there's family, and unfortunately, I don't think that any of you guys count as my family as far as my job is concerned. I can't tell them, hey, my child out in Virginia or Pennsylvania or California had a major emergency and I need to go out and help them. I don't think they'll listen to me on that. That's a
Pets
joke.
are a lot more direct.
They are.
We have to wear masks again at work.
Is that way you change your icon?
No, not really. I guess it's part of it. This was starting last Monday. Even though, regardless of vaccine status.
Yeah, they made us do that a couple of weeks ago as well.
That's one of the things I don't really understand. And I get that this is not the flu. At the same time, everything that we're having to deal with about it reminds me more and more of the flu. And it's like every year when the flu vaccine goes out, it's not like everybody's sitting there going, did you get your flu shot? Oh, if you didn't get your flu shot, you can't come near me, you know. And then on top of that, I guess for me, the part where all of this really kind of irritated me the most was not saying that I wanted her to die, but my aunt, who has full-blown AIDS and is in a full-on assisted living place, she ended up getting tested positive for the, situation. And I told my mom before she even tested positive, I'm like, Mom, if she tests positive, you just got to plan that she's not going to be living long with it. And she freaking survived. And I'm like, if a person with full-blown AIDS can survive it, then why am I afraid of it?
Yeah, I remember when the flu pandemic from like 10 years ago hit and they didn't do masks or social distancing or lockdowns or anything. They just... What?
H1N1?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so all they did was encourage us to use more hand sanitizer, and they put out more stations for hand sanitizer. That's it. No, it's this bullshit with the muzzles and the stay away from me, you can't go to work and feed yourself. Yeah. We got to get the shot, or else you can't do this or that.
Well, and then, like I said, it's one of those things where, I get why we're currently more concerned about it than anything else, because as a species, we've never encountered this before, and so we're still trying to figure out the full impact of it. And we don't, one of the things I'll use as an example is how with chickenpox, when I was a kid, it was chickenpox parties were a big thing, but they didn't understand back then that the shingles virus is the moment that you get chickenpox, you already have the shingles virus in your system and waiting to be activated when you're older. So now they don't necessarily want people getting chickenpox as a child, even though if you get it as an adult, you're at a greater risk of actually having horrible side effect, horrible situation out of it and potentially dying because it leads to shingles. But, they didn't know that then.
And shingles, for anyone who's never seen someone with shingles, is absolutely horrible. I think I would rather cut my arm off than ever have shingles.
And so, but it's situations like that, and it's we don't know what the actual long-term effects of this are going to be. And so I understand all of that. At the same time, if this is a virus that's going to be a fast mutator like the flu virus, then I don't understand this big, push to get a vaccine that isn't actually going to stop it.
More than likely, it's going to end up being like a yearly vaccine, like the flu shots are, where they do 3 different, variants.
Where they rotate 3 different variants, yeah.
Yeah, whatever's most popular COVID that year.
Yeah. But, and that's my point, is just I don't understand, why, but I think that personally, I think it's more just because it's new and scary than for any other reason.
And plus, you didn't have to show your papers to get into a restaurant if you got a vaccination.
I'm in Texas, so I can't really speak on that because we have none of that stuff.
We don't have any of that here either right now.
Or vaccine ticket. I don't know. I'm just talking. It's mostly New York, right? Or California.
I know. I believe I saw that Arizona was one of the states right now, and then like Canada, Paris, or France, and other countries.
Yeah, I know. Texas doesn't have a mask mandate or like anything. Like we just gone completely back to normal. The main problem is COVID, the Delta variant's hitting us really hard, and now the RSV virus is back again and hitting us really hard at the same time. So for adults, that the RSV isn't a problem. You get sick and it sucks, but for kids and babies, it's really bad. I told Willow to watch out because that's actually how we found out she had underdeveloped lungs, was because she got it at 4 and they were confused on why she was so sick until they did chest x-rays and they're like, oh shit.
Well, and I will say that, for the most part, it's not so much I'm like recommending people not necessarily get the vaccine. At the same time, I'm just saying that there's, I'm not seeing why I should be completely scared and why everybody's pushing for what they're pushing for. Now, I'm going to change topics real quick. I put out a tweet, or I responded to a tweet saying, about some parent having their kid record the classroom to make sure the teacher's not teaching CRT, right? Mm-hmm. And my response was, well, I personally think that cameras should be in the classroom, because if we have cameras in the courtrooms and we make police wear body cams to make sure they're not being complete jackasses, why not have cameras in the classrooms so that parents can go in and check to see if teachers are being horrible teachers?
Yeah.
Because when I was a kid, I had 2 different teachers. One of them wouldn't let me go to the bathroom. And so I ended up having an accident. My mom had to, get involved in that. And then the other one yelled at me for having a messy desk when her desk looked worse than mine did at the time. And she yelled at me so loud that my mom, who was out in the hallway, could hear that going on and everything. And so for these reasons alone, I personally have come to the conclusion that I think there should be cameras in the classroom. Does that mean that the cameras have to be pointing necessarily at the children? Not necessarily, but something. And I got one of the weirdest responses that I got was, why do you want to watch videos of other people's kids? Are you some sort of pervert?
You said so the parents could see it.
That's
I didn't even say that. All I said in my actual tweet, all I had said was, if we have cameras in courtrooms and cameras on police, why not have it in the classroom to make sure, what, are the teachers afraid that they're going to get caught doing something wrong or something to that effect? I'm not going to look up the tweet specifically to read it word for word, but it's like, I did not at all go so that people can watch the kids. Blur out all the fucking kids. I don't care.
Cameras in public places. Yeah. Too. Gas stations. Anyway, Chuck, what'd you say, Chuck? I didn't hear you.
All I said was that's a real stretch.
Yeah, it really is. No, I think I agree with you, because there are so many teachers, especially if you're working with disabled kids, you'd be surprised how many times that goes really wrong.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's no proof. And a lot of these kids are nonverbal or can't explain things right. Even Angel at the age of 16 has a hard, especially if she's upset, has a hard time explaining what's happening. Mm-hmm. So, when it's an 8-year-old, what are they supposed to do?
Yeah. Or if it's a nonverbal kid or something, And if you have it set up so that, like, the parent has to either put in some sort of login credentials to be able to access the video, or they actually have to file a request for a video, just like you have to do for the police body cam footage, It's not like, I didn't say anything about making it completely easily publicly accessible. I just said put cameras in there. Not asking for them to be in the fucking bathrooms.
Mm-hmm. That's
People are
gross.
just weird, and I mean, I understand a lot of people don't like how surveillance society is nowadays. But honestly, if you go outside of your house, there is somebody watching you. Just
Exactly.
period. And honestly, if you have a smartphone, you're already being listened to anyways.
You're already consenting to surveillance right there. A smart TV, an Echo, Alexa, whatever.
Ring doorbell.
Yeah, and it's not. My thing was though is like, on top of that, they already did the whole school via video camera through your computer deal for some of last year. So really, they already had cameras in classrooms at that point.
Yep.
And that was a horrible fucking failure. Let me point that out.
You could just have like the camera focus on the teacher and have just the back of the kids' heads be in the picture, so you can't really see what they look like.
Yeah, you make, before you release any footage, you go through, you blur out all the little kids' faces. That's perfectly fucking fine. Like I said, it's not like I'm sitting there, advertising, hey, let's do this so that people can tune in and watch whatever school they want to watch. No. But as somebody who had horrible teachers, not all of my teachers were horrible, but some of them were. When I was in high school, I had a teacher that, as far as we could tell, he had Tourette's. That's what all of us teenagers told each other, was that the guy had Tourette's. When he would walk around doing a lesson, if somebody would make an extra loud noise or something, you could watch his facial expressions, and in reading his lips, it looked distinctly like he said, I hate these fucking kids. And there was one day where a kid was trying to, so, the school desks we had were the kind where it's got the seat and the desk that's attached to it.
Yeah.
And this kid was trying to adjust himself in the seat or something, and so he kind of grabbed the desktop for leverage, and it broke off. And the kid was like, oh my God, I didn't mean to, I swear. And the teacher walked over, picked it up, and threw the top of the desk across the classroom.
Oh, shit.
And it's like, if there would have been cameras, I guarantee somebody would have been getting told to watch that fucking video and get that teacher out. I think he retired either that year, after that year, or the following year.
Yeah.
But,
no, I understand. I've had some horrible teachers in elementary school. It seems like it's made up because of her name. We had the sweetest teacher on earth. She was amazing. We were all in love with her.
Was her name Miss Honey?
I don't actually remember her name. She was only there for 3 months. And she had a horrible accident. It wasn't really an accident, but they told us kids it was an accident. Somebody tried to kidnap her and ran her over. Yeah, my mom told me. It was this white van. She went jogging every day at the same time. And this white van showed up, ran her over a couple times, and tried to kidnap her. Luckily, the neighbors saw it and came out and called the police. But she was in the hospital for 8 months. So they got a teacher to come fill in, and her name was Mrs. Sick.
Was she sick?
Oh.
She was horrible. We hated her. My mom actually went up there and almost got in a physical altercation with her because I came home with nail marks in my arm because she grabbed me so hard with her nails that it left blood. It drew blood.
Yeah, my mom probably would have killed that woman.
She grabbed me and dragged me in the hallway because I wouldn't talk. And back then we didn't know what was wrong with me. I was just the weird kid. Mm-hmm. And so I wouldn't speak to her because she freaks me out. And so she grabbed me and dragged me in the hallway and was yelling at me. And when I came home, my mom saw the nail marks on my arm. And yeah, she went up there and lost her crap. And the cops got called. And I was just honestly, the cops said they understood why she wanted to beat the hell out of the woman, but she wasn't allowed to.
So I've been gone for 2 minutes. What did I miss? Are we talking about abusive teachers now?
Yes.
I mean, overall, still, yeah. Well,
I've been abused by the teachers too. Like when I was in preschool, I don't know what I did, and the teacher dragged me down the stairs because I couldn't keep up with her because she was going so fast. God. She dug her nails into me.
I had another one in elementary school that wouldn't let me go to the bathroom. So I peed my pants in front of the whole class. Yeah. I peed my pants in front of the whole class, and that was the most embarrassing thing in my whole life at that point.
Well, it wasn't really a preschool teacher. I was in preschool at the time, and it was a daycare. Sorry, Chet, go ahead.
I thought it was intentional that you peed. Kind of like,
No.
if you don't
When
let me pee, I'll pee here.
I just couldn't, I couldn't hold it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the same thing that happened to me when I was in second grade. The teacher was like, well, you just got back from recess. You should have gone when you had the chance. And it was like, I didn't have to go right then.
Yeah, I was 9 years old. My bladder couldn't hold it anymore.
Aren't female bladders smaller than male bladders anyway?
Yeah.
I have no clue. I mean, it doesn't matter. If you got it, when a kid says they have to go to the bathroom,
believe them.
And then freaking let them go to the bathroom. If you don't believe that, if you think that they're going to be messing around, then ask somebody else to go with them or something. You know?
Yeah, it was so embarrassing. I ran to the restroom without her permission, locked myself in one of the stalls, and I hid for literally hours. The police were out searching for me because they couldn't find me. And finally they found me in the bathroom because a kid crawled under the stall. I locked myself in. It was like, damn it, Crystal, everyone's been looking for you. You've been in here for 5 hours.
You just doxed yourself.
He's done it before.
Baby, you obviously have never looked at my GoFundMe.
And and overall, you can't doxing. I'm going to be very pedantic about this. Doxing is doing that maliciously. I don't think you can maliciously dox yourself.
Yeah. No, like literally, if anyone looks at my GoFundMe, my full name's on there because that's the only way I could do it. Like, honestly, I don't care if anyone wants, like, you know, I'm already out. Nobody can dox me.
But, you know, one thing you can do is help her out and make sure she doesn't actually have to, you know, lose her eye horribly and, you know, help out her GoFundMe.
So far, it's still holding in, and I'm very happy about that.
Well, I'm very happy about that, too.
Wait, two things. I joke about that because he actually did tell me this before. The second thing is, I remember I once got in trouble. I think I was maybe 6 or 7 because I said I had to go to the bathroom, and the teacher told me, you can go in a little bit. And so when the time came, I guess the other students snitched on me. I'll just use that term. And the teacher asked, why didn't I use the bathroom? And I said, I don't have to go anymore. And then I got in trouble for lying.
How long have I had my GoFundMe? I think like 2 years now.
I mean,
years.
It's a little bit of money. So, I mean, it's not like it's the easiest thing. And, you know, I'd like to say that it's not the easiest thing to get that much money and everything, but I'm also going to be a complete jackass and say it's also not like we have anybody, you know, super big name promoting her GoFundMe, because there's people out there that have gotten hundreds of thousands of dollars in just hours because the right person.
Yeah. Also, mine is a gross thing that people don't want to think about. Because trust me, around the same time that I posted mine, a girl posted hers for her fake boobs because she was a stripper. She got $30,000 in less than 3 hours.
Yeah.
Mine is because I might explode one day. And that makes people very uncomfortable. And I understand.
Yeah, we totally understand Mystery. Yes, you know, that's part of the reason why she's, you know, doing the whole GoFundMe is because of the fact that everybody understands that you know, that you don't just have $10,000 laying around.
Yeah, and you know, honestly, I wasn't like they all talked me into doing a GoFundMe.
We did. We had to force her.
It took them a while of constantly going, start a GoFundMe, start a GoFundMe.
It was almost a year of nagging you.
It really was. I was very much raised, you don't ask other people for money.
Yeah.
Like for anything. It doesn't matter how hard off you are, you don't ask other people for money. So it really did take them like a year to convince me to even start one. So yeah. I don't promote it very often. I don't talk about it very often, which is probably my fault that it's not higher than it is.
Well, I remember 2 years ago in 2019, I said that a birthday present you could give me is to donate to you, Poppy.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you.
I don't think you remember that tweet, though.
I don't remember most things. To be fair, like I had no idea today was the anniversary for the Minions. So,
one other thing on the topic of teachers, but this one's not a negative thing, which is funny, but it kind of is. Anyways, so one of the substitute teachers that we had when I was in high school was this math substitute teacher, and whenever he'd come in, whenever he had to talk about multiplication of negative and positive numbers, we enjoyed the way he said negative. So we would always make sure to get him to say how a negative times a negative equals a positive. Because that's exactly how he'd say it. And it was just always so fucking enjoyable listening to him. And so I'm just saying, I don't remember the guy's name, but I know he's probably dead by now. He was old, but it was still enjoyable as hell.
Now my fourth grade teacher, she held me back after I asked to go to the bathroom, and she had this card pulling system where we had like one bathroom pass, and then if we needed to go again, we'd have to pull the card. And like white's warning. Let's see. Their pink one is 5 minutes. Yellow is 10. Green is I think a lost recess. And then anything past that is like, visit to the principal's office. And I already pulled my... Yeah. Not just for the bathroom, but like if you misbehave or whatever. And I had already pulled my white card. And if I were to have to stay after class for 10 minutes, I would have missed my bus. If I missed my bus, that means... And we lived like out in the middle of BF Egypt, so... we lived a good half an hour away from the school. And at least as far as bus travel goes. So we end up, I'm just like, you know what? I can last to the end of class. And my friends are all making fun of me because I am like a bottle that's just been shook till it can't handle any more pressure. And my friends are just laughing their ass off. They're like, just go. Like, just run. And I'm like, I was a good kid, so I followed the rules. And I ended up being late for the bus anyway. When the accident happened. And I was like, okay, we got to my house. She ended up having to take me home. We got to the house. And like my dad wasn't there, so I was like, okay, I got off easy. No one has to know anything, and it's all good. And as she left, I saw him pull up, and I'm like, they stopped and they talked, and I was like, oh shit. And then my dad comes up and he just goes, okay, you followed the rules, good for you. But next time, regardless, just go.
Yeah.
Just walk into the bathroom. Like I could not care less.
Yeah, my mom on the whole accident and situation. I'm not exactly sure how it went down or anything, but basically my mom told me whenever I needed to go to the bathroom, just walk out of the classroom. And I was like, I'll get in trouble. And she's like, no, you won't. And then the next time I saw that teacher, she was like, really not happy with me, but she was like, apparently I have to let you go to the bathroom whenever you want. And I was like, okay. And she's like, and if your mom threatens my life again, I'm calling the cops.
I knew where the story was going.
My mom did not necessarily threaten anybody's life, but she did get the second grade teacher fired, and then was the cause of the fourth grade teacher deciding that she was going to quit teaching and just do waitressing. And then on top of that, they then gave me my third grade teacher as my fifth grade teacher because I didn't have any problems with her, so therefore they just wanted to make sure that they didn't have any more problems with my mom.
Yeah, as much as my mom could be a wonderful person too. So I'm not saying, well, she had issues. My mom was a bipolar person who had me at 14. So things were interesting when she had to deal with the school, because a lot of times people would try to talk down to her, especially when I was younger, because she was a teenager or in her very early 20s, and they would try to talk down to her like she was a little kid, and that never went well. It really didn't. And my mom, she was a handful, and they figured that out really quickly, and she's over here like, that's it, I'm calling my uncle, I'm going to court, you're all going to be and they're like, oh, no. And I remember one time I forgot, something really bad happened at school, and I guess I blacked it out or something, but I know my mom ended up talking to my principal, and I was sitting outside, and my mom started throwing stuff at him.
Ow.
There was
I already forgot how young she was when you were telling these stories.
Yeah, my mom was 14 when she had me. So when I started kindergarten, my mom was 19 years old.
No wonder she threatened the teacher.
My first week at school was actually pretty interesting, because one of the teachers, once again, it was the nonverbal thing. And my mom had already told me, because she was a teenager, she was like, you don't have to listen to anyone but me. And so that went well.
I'm sure.
Anyway, the principal came out and grabbed my arm and started dragging me down the hallway. And I was not pleased by this, so I kicked him in the back of the knee as hard as I could. And he fell on his face. And so, of course, my mom got called, and she ran into the hallway. The first thing she said was, what'd you do to my baby to make her kick you? She's not a violent child. And he's like, well, I had to grab her arm to make her go to my office. And she's like, you touched my daughter? A grown man put my hands on my daughter, a 5-year-old, and he was like, oh, this is not going to go well.
Yep, you gotta love it. You gotta love them overprotective moms that, when there's actually a situation for them to be overprotective about. See, I told my mom yesterday that she's actually the reason that I have the self-restraint that I have, because she told me and my sister when we were growing up that, we were not supposed to get into fights. And that if we got into a fight, we had to give 3 warnings, and the other person had to start it. And the only time that we were allowed to not have to give the 3 warnings is if the other person threw a punch, and then all bets were off. But we had to go with that and everything. And I'm like, well, that just, I can't, you can't just go get into a damn fight. Somebody can't just be running their mouth, and you can't just go and punch them because they're running their mouth when you have to give them 3 fucking warnings first.
All right. Well, I mean, in the state of Texas, that is legally how you fight. You have to get, if someone breaks into your house, the only way you can shoot them is if you give them 3 warnings first. Then you can shoot them all you want to. And the only way you can legally fight is if the other person throws first. Like, if they hit you first, it doesn't matter. You can beat the crap out of them.
When I was in school, I would always get in trouble for defending myself, and they'd get away with it. So, yeah, it's stupid.
I personally, I think that's like, if you have witnesses that you didn't start the fight, I'm not saying that you shouldn't totally get away with it, or that you should totally get away with it. At the same time, I don't at all think that you should get punished for it. I know there was this kid when I was in elementary school. I was picked on, but this kid was practically bullied and everything. But I did my best to make sure that, as long as I was around, the other kids didn't mess with them and everything. And so I did my best. Now, that's not to say that he wasn't at all bullied if I wasn't there, but at the same time, as long as I was there, the other kids wouldn't mess with him, because although when they were in a group, they would mess with me, individually they wouldn't. I don't understand that, but, you know, kids are kids. I still don't understand them. Anyways, it was our 5th grade year, and he actually started a fight with me and pissed me off. And I'm like, dude, I've been protecting your ass for the last 2 years. And you're going to go and pick a fucking fight with me now? Are you stupid? And, you know, so that was that. But that was the closest I ever came to being in a fight while I was in elementary school.
And if I would complain to the teacher, they'd be like, I don't see any blood, or show me the blood so we can all whine with you.
Oh, Lord.
This was in high school. To show us the blood so we can whine with you. And the lady is actually known for having a transgender daughter. Her daughter thinks she's a boy. So,
I mean, I thought I was a boy, but that didn't mean my mom was going to be, you know, justifying my fucking actions.
I know.
I only ever thought I was a boy at certain times. It's a whole long deal.
I wished I was a boy. I knew I wasn't.
I know.
But I hated being a girl.
I know. Same here.
As soon as they pulled out that first training bra to make me wear, I was like hiding it in my room and like, you know, causing all kinds of issues. I was like, no, I do not have boobs.
I'm just saying this teacher was notable.
Yeah.
So.
No, we get that. I was just saying, you know, that they shouldn't. You allowing your child to be who your child wants to be is not a justification for you allowing that child to be an asshole.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't her kid who did this to me. It was one of her students. The transgender thing came like years later, like a few years ago.
Okay, well then that's even more of a reason to not allow another child to be an asshole to another child.
Okay.
I mean, the transgender thing has nothing to do with it, definitely at that point. But, you know, you trying to encourage people to be, you know, children, younger people to be good people, goes completely against the whole allowing somebody to be an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had one teacher who was mean to me because I was taller than them. He's a very angry little man. He did not like when I told him that.
See, the worst kid I had, as far as some of that goes, was my freshman year, which was where I got lucky, and that's just because it was the one thing where my sister actually helped me out, and he was a football player, and he kept like harassing me and stuff, and so then because he wouldn't leave me alone, my sister, who was super more popular than I was, got all of the senior football players to inform him to leave me alone, or they would be very unhappy with him. And so then he left me alone.
Yeah, I had one of the guys who were bullying me in high school stop bullying me because he found out he was related to my stepsister. Apparently, that was her cousin. I did not know that. And it all started because his friend apparently had a crush on me. I didn't believe him. Because, you know, in high school, I was one of those girls that, like, people would dare you to ask out.
Yeah.
I would have asked you out in high school just because of your height. Actually, no, I would have been too nervous, too, given me as a teenager.
Okie dokie.
You're adorable, Chuck, but...
But, yeah, so... Anyway, so I said no and got weird, and I was awkward already as a teenager, and I just assumed it was one of those things because, you know, I was the weird little headbanger chick in high school that wore corn shirts that were like 5 sizes too big. And so then they started being mean to me, and they fucked with me all year. It was so just hardcore. And my teacher had this thing where you could put notes in for her to read out loud, or you could go up and read to the class yourself, like if you had any problems or things you needed to fix or whatever, you know. And he went in front of the class and read out loud that he was sorry for being mean to me all year because his cousin came to talk to him, and it turns out that I'm kind of related to him. So he's sorry about that. And I was like, you're only sorry because my stepsister knows you. That's nice. That's great. That's great. Like, I didn't feel like that was a real apology. I felt like that was my family told me I had to say I'm sorry. Kids are weird. Everybody, like, I hear so many people talk about how high school was so wonderful and they wish they could go back there. And I'm like, dear God, no, never. You couldn't pay me to be underage again.
Jesus Christ, I would not want to redo high. Well, actually, that's a bit complicated. I would do high school again, only to correct everything that went wrong.
Yeah, my grades.
Knowing me, I'd still be an awkward, weird little shit in high school. So yeah, I know I'm not going back.
I did make the honor roll in my senior year, though.
I was 0.05 away from getting on roll.
That sucks.
Sorry.
I dropped out at 17 because I was pregnant. So yeah. But then I had Willa, so that was great. I never did finish school though, but I'm pushing my kids too, and Willa's already graduated, so whoop.
That's good.
Yeah, and Angel's working at it.
How old is Angel?
16.
And Willow's
She's as old as me.
Willow's 20.
Oh. Okay.
What did you say, Chuck?
Yeah.
She's my age.
You're 16? Oh, yeah, because I tell everyone he's 16 because you won't tell me his age. If you won't tell me your age, my automatic assumption is you're 16 underage and I can only have certain conversations with you.
I've been 16 for 2 years.
Yep.
Floating timeline.
16.
Floating timeline.
You shall never age, Chuck. You shall never age. Hey, Della, are you still there?
Yep.
Hi, how you doing?
Oh, just monkeying around.
Monkeying around.
Every time we get people on stream, you just never talk, and it makes me sad.
Well, I mean, you guys got so many people talking. I don't see a point, and a lot of times I don't really have much to contribute to those conversations that are going on.
Then just change the subject, though.
But then I would have to distract myself, which is very annoying at this current moment because I'm currently playing a game where I've been transformed into a giant gorilla, hence the pun you guys didn't realize I made.
Harambe.
But yeah.
I know, I only get to talk to you every 2 weeks. So,
I mean, that's your fault, to be fair.
Okay, I'm sorry I work.
I'm just saying, I seem to remember a certain sea turtle telling me that they were going to be available some more Sundays than they thought, and that they might be.
Yeah, but you said that you played games on Sunday, and I was like, oh yeah, I can't join in on that because I don't play games.
Just because I play games doesn't mean you have to. I mean, I've played games where I'm the only one playing, and I've had guests on while I do it.
Well, bitch, you can invite me, right?
Bitch, you can ask to join, right?
I can't. I'm very autistic. I assume if people don't invite me, they don't want me.
Plus, she can't ask if she doesn't have her plan.
Do you think you're the only one who uses stream time to find guests, to invite people, to grant people the opportunity to join if they so desire?
Once again, I assume if people don't invite me, they don't want me.
Putting the invite out in stream time is inviting you. Especially when I go at Zoom Minions, at Streamable, at Zoom Minions Temp.
Okay, I will try to come on more often. And
actually, I understand Poppy's perspective because I remember the first few times the link was posted, or the link to the stream was posted in the Discord, I was too nervous because
Yeah.
I wasn't invited, or it wasn't planned, or there
Yeah.
was no direct.
Don't get me wrong. I understand completely what you guys are saying.
Yeah.
I'm just making certain that everyone is aware it is nowhere near my fault.
Yeah, just remember, I have very bad ADHD, and I have this crazy little voice in my head that's always telling me, your friends don't really like you, they just pity you, and they don't want you around. Like,
Online
constantly.
friends, or
Everyone. Even Chris, who's been with me for Chris has been with me for 13 years, constantly saying, yes, I still love you. And my brain's like, no, he doesn't. I have a constant fight with the side of my brain who hates me and makes sure that I know everyone else does too. So, I mean, I know I'm crazy. I'm well aware of it. I know it's not an actual issue.
I have an idea of how you feel.
Yeah. And I mean, I know it's the ADHD. I've talked to a lot of ADHD adults, and they all have the same issue of you just constantly feeling like it's so weird because I've talked to other women, and they're always like, they have this assumption that guys who talk to them are like attracted to them. I have never had that problem. My automatic assumption is everyone sees me like the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
I wouldn't.
Yes, you've made that clear, dear. So, like, I don't know. It's just, people always think that's weird about me, but I will try to come on and talk to people more. We've been having a really weird month, so I haven't been on as much on Discord as I should be. And honestly, at work, I'm really not supposed to be. But I am off on Mondays and Sundays, so I will try to come hang out with everyone.
There you go. Oh, I'm no longer a monkey. Damn it.
Aww.
Although I did turn the Flash into a dog and kick his ass, so that was something.
I'm about to go get some more. Chris was so sweet. The girls went to Pancho with Angel's boyfriend's mom and his whole family, which I didn't even know there was a Pancho still around, which I don't know if anyone knows what Pancho's is. But it's like a Mexican cafeteria-style buffet that I grew up in. Like, every birthday we would go there, and they'd give me a piñata and take a picture of me and put it up on the wall. And then the next year when I come in for the new picture, they give us the old picture. And they're not the best food, but it was a fun place to go to. And, yeah, I didn't even know they were still around. So Chris was like, hey, since the girls are gone, how about we just pick up dinner? So he got me a spinach chicken feta pizza and chicken wings from Domino's. It was really good. But I can't eat a whole pizza by myself, so I had like 2 slices. I'm thinking about going and getting another.
I'm sure you could if you tried.
Well, you know, I've been drinking, and for some reason that always makes me hungry.
Because it burns through more energy.
Yeah. I'm over here like, I could eat more now. Pizza.
Yeah.
I always have to have drinking snacks. I really do. Like, I can't just drink on an empty stomach.
Mm-hmm.
I know people who can, and they impress the shit out of me. I'm like, you're hardcore.
I mean, I could, but I have to be extremely careful, or it's just going to have a bad end result. Which usually I'm okay with dealing with, but I don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah, Reject said in chat she hates people who thinks everyone's trying to come on to them. I find it really weird if your assumption to anyone talking to you is they think you're attractive. Like, I understand thinking you're pretty, but thinking everybody wants to have sex with you is just so weird.
You mean they don't?
I'm back.
Yeah, I really know.
Why am I here?
I really know girls like that. Like, a guy will say hi, and they're like, I have a boyfriend.
Oh, God, I hate that. It's like,
Story of my teenage life.
like, good to know. Let me know when you get a personality, and we can be friends.
And I'm just like, that guy wasn't even hitting on you. He politely nodded his head and said hello. Like,
Excuse me, miss. I'm sorry. I have a boyfriend. Oh, that's fine. Do you want to let him? Do you want him to wait here while he tells you dropped your purse?
Oh, yeah, that's just I hate that so much.
I've actually had that happen to where she's like, "Yeah, this is my boyfriend," and I'm like, "Good, then I can give this to you to give to her."
Like I've literally mistakenly talked a little too long with guys who were actually hitting on me because I didn't realize they were hitting on me.
Like, okay, so when I, going back to like the school type stuff, you had talked about the one dude that, the being who is the person that people would dare other people to ask out or whatever.
Yeah.
There was one day I was walking home and I walked in front of this convenience store because I lived kind of close by there, and these kids from my high school had pulled up to that same convenience store, and it was getting close to like prom, and one of the guys asked me out to prom. To this day, I don't know if he was being serious or being a jackass, but I told him to fuck off.
Sorry.
And I'm just like, and then like here's one that like today, I don't think that this situation could happen to anybody today without there being some sort of meltdown had about it. But so here's what happened. I was waiting out. I had a class right after my lunch period, and so I finished up lunch. I'm waiting outside that class. This boy comes out, and I'm going to make this clear. I knew within the course of everything that happened that he thought I was a boy. Most everybody that I went to school with, when they looked at me, thought I was a boy unless they knew who I was. So he comes out. I've always been a little on the chubby side, not super chubby, but a little chubby. And he takes the back of his hand, pats my tummy, and he says, "You're putting on a little weight there, aren't you, buddy?" And then tweaks my nipple.
Oh no.
Wow.
And as soon as he does all that, everybody's like, "Dude, that's a girl." And he's like, "Oh my God." The rest of the year, when he would walk past me to come out of that class, you could see he like would physically shrink into himself and everything. And I'm just like,
I completely, yeah, that's horrible. I completely understand though, because there was a great debate on whether I was a boy or a girl. Because I had really long hair. It went down past my butt, like in the middle of my thighs. My hair went that far down. And I always wore like baggy pants and like band t-shirts that were really baggy, so you couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
And people were constantly wondering, like, is that a boy or a girl?
Well, and I had short hair and everything. Now, I'm going to clarify that overall, I still don't think that even if I had been a boy, that still was not
it's appropriate.
Appropriate thing for a guy to do to anybody. But at the same time, it made it so much funnier that he thought I was a guy.
He wanted to die as soon as that happened.
Oh, yeah. And he caught so much shit for it the rest of the year. And
he grabbed a girl's boob.
Well, no, he didn't even actually full on grab my boob or anything, but it's one of those things that, like, if that had happened in today's whole situation, oh my God, it would have been on the news.
He would have been kicked out of school.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He would have been in so much trouble.
I've been told that I sound like a guy.
I don't think you do.
I think I sound like a 12-year-old boy, so I mean...
That's what I was told. A lesbian or a 12-year-old boy or something. Or a little boy. Yeah.
Oh, I've had plenty of people assume I'm a lesbian. Even lesbians assume I'm a lesbian, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not.
I naturally have a deeper voice. I've like trained myself to talk higher pitch, and it turns out at work I even go higher because everyone, like all the Alzheimer patients, think I'm a man at first. So I have different tones for like every situation I'm talking in, and it's funny. And one time I even freaked out my own family because I came in and Josie was doing something really bad in the room. I don't even remember what it was, but I think she was trying to take a poop on my floor or something. Mm. And I walked in, I used my deep, scary voice on her. And and Angel and Chris both came running in the room because they thought a man was in the house.
Oh, me.
And I was like, no, that was me. And they're like, we did not know you could do that. I was like, it's the
Lay
testosterone.
down, baby. Lay down. Okay, look. You cannot crawl on top of me. You gotta lay down. You gotta lay down.
She's
I,
got
I
it.
did. I did find out that the dad voice is universal,
It really
Yeah.
is.
and it causes any kid within earshot to immediately, like, just respond as if they're being yelled at.
Oh, I can confirm, and I have had so much fun with that.
Oh, me and Willow have what we call the mom pointer finger. Like you say something really strict and point at people, and they just listen. It doesn't even apply to kids. It applies to like everyone. Willow has done it at work in a room full of like older Mexican men who are all like, they're cooks. They don't listen to anyone. They don't listen to the boss. Like the owner of the restaurant could come through and they're like, fuck you. Willow walks in there, points her finger at them, and they're like, yes, ma'am.
Sí, señorita.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, dads have the voice, moms have the finger.
Well, see, I don't know what I don't know what anybody else would call it, but I call it rolling a natural 20 in real life. But there was one day where I was at the store. This particular store regularly has a problem on Sunday nights, which just so happened to be the night that me and my people would be there to clean. And so even though that store was assigned to one of my people, I would still go there to help, make sure that my person is able to focus on their work while I'm kind of somewhat backing up the assistant, because that store had a bar that had a ladies' night just a short little ways away from it on Sunday nights. So all these people would show up and block off there'd be cars packed in the parking lot and everything. Anyways, so there was one night where I noticed this guy had grabbed up this case of beer, and then he went down the backside of the check stand, and then I was like, the way he's moving, he's going to steal that case of beer. And this store just happened to have both a front entrance and a back entrance. So I walked around to kind of follow him and everything, and I was still clear down near the beer cooler, and he had already made it up to where the back entrance door was. And sure enough, he started to walk out, and I was like, hey! And he just stopped. And, yes, I was using the pointer finger, but I was like, put it back. And he set it on the counter and walked out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's a natural 20 on my intimidation check in real life.
Oh, God. I don't know. Like, on the whole being intimidating thing, it just kind of reminded me of one time Willow brought over a little guy from junior high, and he's like 13 or 14. And I'm laying down. At the time, we slept on a mattress in the living room because it's before we moved to a bigger place.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there sleeping, and she walks in with her friends, goes to her room, does some stuff, walks out, and he just stands at the end of the mattress talking to me and talking and talking and talking. My daughter and her other friend had already left and went outside and were standing in the parking lot. And he's just talking. And I was like, hon, if you don't shut up and let me sleep, I'm going to pick you up and throw you in the dumpster. And he's like, haha, I'd like you see you try. I stood up. He started running. I picked him up and carried him out to Willow. And I sat him down. And I'm like, don't leave it in the house ever again. And he's like, don't put me in the dumpster. Don't. And Willow's like, what did you do to him? And I was like, I told him I was going to throw him in the dumpster. He didn't think I could pick him up.
Good job.
I pick up 300-pound people as a living. I'm pretty sure, a teenage boy is not that hard.
No.
But it was just so funny. That boy never, ever messed with me again. All I'd have to be was like, don't. And he's like, yes, ma'am.
No, my nephew is kind of like that. He'd always, like, even when he was in high school, we'd always end up like horsing around, and he'd try and pick me up, and I'm like, I outweigh him by like 200 pounds.
Yeah.
And so he just like, he goes to pick, and he's like, oh, okay, this isn't fair. And then we went to a family, my dad's birthday, big old family event, and he's 20 now. And so we started horsing around. He's like, oh, I can do this now. I got weight on me now. And he goes to pick me up, and I just drop my weight a little bit. And he just goes to hut, and he goes, fuck you. And then he just stops.
No, okay, so if I'm going to start off with, I understand that this was not appropriate given the fact that it was a potential foster child, not even one of our foster children at the time. He was just staying with us. But I was wrestling around with my brother beforehand, and the other kids were there and everything, and I was talking with them. But my brother had grown up with me wrestling with him, so there were times where he would come up and start wrestling, and so I'd go ahead and wrestle with him. Well, I'd gotten him in the old arm lock with my hands behind his neck and both of his arms dangling up in the air and everything. And so then I'm like, dude, you got to tap out because he knows the rules. Well, this other kid that was a potential foster kid, I didn't like him. He did not become a foster kid because I did not like him. Anyways, he had said, oh, I could get out of that. And I'm like, no, you couldn't. And this kid was like 300 pounds. But I'm like, no, you can't. You won't get out. And he's like, yes, I could. And I'm like, no. He's like, yeah, I could. So finally I went ahead and I got him locked up. And then he was like, he tried doing the whole drop down to the ground deal. And I just went right down with him. And I'm like, so are we done now? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, let's not have this discussion again. But I know it was bad, but at the same time, the kid annoyed me. And then I'm just gonna let this out real quick. And then one night I heard rummaging upstairs in my bedroom area, and I go upstairs, and he's going through my shit in my bedroom.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, dude, you need to get out of my room. And he's just sitting there. And I stand at the top of the stairs because the door to my bedroom at that particular house was right at the top of the stairs. And I just start screaming for my mom. And I'm like, my mom finally comes to the bottom of the stairs. I'm like, Mom, you need to get him out of my room right now. So.
Someone's about to have themselves an accident.
It was going to get kind of bad. And I'm just like, he needs to get the fuck out of my shit. He's touching my stuff, Mom. That's my room.
All right.
I was a grown-ass adult, but I was just like, this is why I cannot touch it right now.
As grown-ass adults, nobody other than me and Chris and sometimes the kids are allowed in our bedroom. Like, you don't go to other people's rooms and mess with their stuff. I don't care how old you are or how old they are. You don't do that.
Exactly. I was pissed.
Like, that is your private area with your stuff in it. You don't mess with stuff.
Yeah. But like I said, I did the arm lock thing on him before he'd gone into my room. The day after he went into my room, he was out of my house. We couldn't get him out that night, but that next day he was out, not to come back. Can you quit?
Is your boy getting jealous?
Something like that. He keeps grabbing my hand. Now he's got it in his mouth, and if I try to take it away, he'll pull it back.
Yeah, he's like, Mom, pay attention to me.
I am paying attention to you, though. You're getting more attention right now than if I was in the living room.
What type of dog?
He's a lab shepherd. And he
my ex's my first girlfriend, her dog used to greet me by putting my hand in his mouth, and he was a English Mastiff.
Oh.
And so I'd go to pet him, and he's just like, "Oh no! This is how we do this here." And yeah, just whole hand in his mouth.
Only regularly tries to do French kisses, which I have to tell him no.
Oh, my dog does that too. She'll like sneak up and just put her face right next to yours and stare directly at you, and then all of a sudden lick you. And it's like, no, don't do that.
Yeah, and the worst one is when he does it. He'll wait. he'll try to wait until I'm about ready to talk.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, no, this is not okay. But he's still one of the best dogs I've ever had, hands down.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the dog we have now. He's very much my wife's dog, and she loves the hell out of him, and I have a passing affection.
Passing affection.
I get what you mean. Josie is definitely Chris's dog. Like, I love her in the way of she lives in my house and I take care of her. I'm also kind of like, I have to live with you.
I feed him, and he listens to me when I yell at him, so that's
Yeah.
a plus.
Yeah. Like, I'm never mean to her, but she also has this habit of every time she gets left alone, she gets separation anxiety and poops all over the house. I'm convinced she saves it up all week just to poop all over the house, because I don't see how a dog her size can poop that much.
See, that's the one thing about Omi, is that the only sign of separation anxiety he shows is when I have to go out of town for several days in a row, and then he gets he'll stop eating.
Yeah.
And he'll last until like the third day. The third day is where he'll stop eating at, and then he'll start eating again roughly 5 days later. Like on the 5th day he'll start eating. That's as long as he can hold out. So I try to keep my out of town trips to no more than 3 days if I can help it, because 1 of Mom's health, and then 2 of Omi. I gotta let you guys go. Mom woke up from her nap, and I need to go make sure that she's doing okay. And then Omi's got to go potty and stuff. It was nice chatting with you guys, though. Thanks for letting me be on.
Of course, it's great having you. We don't get to talk very often.
No, we don't. We need to do more of that. You guys have a good night, okay?
All right.
Everything.
Good night. Yeah, I'll probably be ending the stream here in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll run till 12:30 if we can find something to talk about.
My mom's cat was given crab to eat, and now he won't leave her alone during dinner time.
Oh my God, Willow's new kitten. I have never met a cat that likes so many human foods. Like, we've had lots of cats before, and they like certain food, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the cat we had for a very long time, Alchemy. She had him since she was 7. He passed away this year. He would only eat meat. Like if we had lunch meat or meat on your plate, he would eat that. But he didn't like anything else. And we had one cat who really liked McDonald's French fries, but nothing else. This cat will literally try to climb on top of your head and jump off to dive bomb in your plate. Like, he wants to eat everything all the time. He's just he tries to attack you while you have food so he can eat. I got a chicken salad sandwich this morning on the way home from work because I told Chris I was starving, but I had a very bad night. I worked with someone I don't normally, and there was a poop incident. And she stuck the clothes in the washer and dryer without checking if there was poop on it. So I had to clean out a dryer with poop all in it. That was not a fun part of my day. So I was like, yeah, I'm starving, but I'm tired and I'm gross and I just want to go to sleep. So we stopped and got food. And as soon as I sat down, opened my chicken salad sandwich, the next thing I know, there was a cat there in like half a second trying to drag away half my sandwich. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. I literally just call this cat Little Demon. I'm like, hi, Little Demon. How are you?
My little stinker.
I'll actually go, hey, where's the demon? And everyone knows who I'm talking about. Because he's feral. Like, we found him in a bush. He's adapting fairly well for a feral cat, but he's still feral. So he's all up climbing up mattresses and climbing on walls and jumping off of things and freaking out for no apparent reason because, I don't know, crack-headed cats do that for some reason.
My mom's cat is curious. Her newest one, she got it from outside, and she's been exploring the whole house, jumping on stuff.
Yeah. And he'll go from trying to eat you alive to wanting to cuddle and sleep with you, like, in 10 minutes. It's so funny.
Cute.
Yeah. Sorry, I know I talk too much.
No. Sometimes when I'm petting her cat, not the newest one, but like the oldest one who won't leave her alone, like if I pull my hand away, he'll like whack me. It's like, don't you dare stop petting me. Yeah. So he's 20 and he still likes to play.
Yeah.
He's cute.
He's a good baby. Oh. Okay, we may have to end the stream sooner.
Jack. Say something, Jack.
We got 5 people. Nobody saying shit.
Shit.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Still not looking forward to going back to work with the mask on.
I've had to work on with a mask for a while. It's not that bad once you get used to it.
Are you full-time?
Yeah.
Oh,
I work 5 days a week in a memory care ward.
So 40 hours?
I work about 54 hours.
Damn.
A week.
I'm sorry.
It's not that bad. It's just, okay, I won't lie, it's kind of bad. It's just a bad job that I'm used to.
I have a coworker who has 2 jobs. I think she works at my job and then at a nursing home, I think every day except for Wednesday. So she has to wear a mask all that time. So, yeah, she's full-time at my job and part-time at the nursing home. But, yeah, overtime, yeah, I don't like working overtime that much. But, hey, I'm on second shift, so I think they're more lenient when it comes to the masks, or at least with certain things, because there's not a lot of people around.
I'm not used to working one job.
Mm.
I had 2 jobs for like 3 years.
Mm.
So now it's like, I don't know how to feel. I should feel about my free time.
That's 60 hours a week, right?
Let's see. Yeah, give or take.
Damn.
I mean, Chris just has 1 job, and he still works about 84 hours a week.
Jeez.
He works between 12 and 16 hours a day.
But when you love your job, is it really work?
Living to work.
He doesn't really love his job, but he loves the money.
Yeah, you know what they say, do what you love and you never work a day in your life.
Like streaming, if you're popular.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, a lot of times streaming is called work when it really shouldn't be.
Yeah.
That's not to say it can't be work. It most definitely can if you're putting in the effort, but a lot of times people are putting in no effort and calling it work.
When I work with certain people, I actually really like my job. You know how that is when you have to work with partners?
Yeah.
Like in memory care, you have to work with a partner because if you're in one room and somebody's trying to run out the door, you know, it gets complicated. So we always have 2 people working on the floor unless we're working alone, and that's bad. But like me and the person I work with the most, we got everything down pat, and it's super easy to do the job. And of course, it's humans, so we have things that come up that are unexpected, but we usually handle it pretty well. Like we've been working together for 3 years now. So we kind of just move around each other and don't really have to say much. We just do it. And then like on the 2 days she has off, they just stick me with random people. And like I said, someone dried shit in the dryer last night. Or like they don't know what to do, so they just stand around waiting for me to tell them what to do.
Mhm.
And that's annoying. I don't really like that. I can't decide which I like more, being alone or having someone who has no idea what they're doing and keeps asking, like, why does that person do that? Like, if you're a memory care, don't ask why people do things. We don't know. They don't know. It's just a thing they do, and we deal with it. And the only time you stop it is if they're trying to hurt themselves, hurt someone else, or if they're peeing on someone else's stuff.
Yep.
Because sadly, that is an issue. As I brought up, like, you know, he got mad at another man and went and peed on his bedroom floor. Like, we can't do that.
I've been hanging around the break room during the last half hour of Lords of the Night, and I was eating something. I wasn't chewing it at the time. I was just listening to the stream. And a security guard came in and said, "You got to pull your mask up." And I'm like, "I'm eating."
Yeah, how are you supposed to eat with a mask on?
Yeah. Am I supposed to inject my food into my arm or something?
I know they get annoyed with me because, like, you know, I work nights. There's not a lot of people out at that time. And somebody will walk by and I'm drinking something with my mask off.
Yeah.
And they're like, "You have to have your mask on." I'm like, "I'm drinking right now. I'm not sure how to drink with a mask on."
I think there was a restaurant in Kenosha where you can only take your mask off when taking a bite, and then when you put it in your mouth, you have to put your mask back on. It's really stupid.
Hey, I'm just happy I don't have to wear full PPE anymore.
A full what?
Full PPE, protective gear, like the gown, the shoe coverings, the head coverings, a face shield, 2 face masks, goggles.
Oh, right, got it.
That was hot. That was so
Ouch.
hot. Especially when they switched, because we ran out of regular gowns, so we had to wear plastic ones that made it feel like you're wearing a trash bag. I was so sweaty. It sucked. And I'm glad we don't have to do that anymore. I just have to wear a mask. And I'm like, hey, out of everything, this is better.
Yeah. My mom would wear a gas mask to the supermarket or wherever they enforced masks just to be dramatic and funny, and she's gotten looks.
I wanted to wear a plague mask, but Chris said no.
Yeah, my mom actually, somebody posted a link to an Amazon page where they were selling those, and it turns out my mom made at least one, and maybe I should wear it tomorrow. You know, see what people think.
Chris's opinion was, people stare at our family out in public enough. Let's not add a plague mask to it.
Yes.
But I do have, yeah.
Oh, the staring, you know, we all wear like alternative clothes, and I'm about 6 foot. He's 6'4", and you know, our girls are a bit ostentatious. So we get a lot of looks when we go grocery shopping already. He's like, let's not add plague masks to this, because, you know, if you get one, but the girls are going to want one, then there's going to be a whole outfit involved. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, why you gotta be such a girl about it?
But I thought it was funny.
I have a mesh mask that I can breathe fine with. So I don't know how much longer they're going to enforce this stuff.
I don't
Hopefully
know.
not long.
Yeah, they're starting to move people back into the office at my work, and then with the whole Delta variant thing, they're like, "Okay, are you gonna continue this, or is this gonna be, you know, everyone's still working from home?" Because there's still a few people working from home that are going to be stuck working from home. And they're like, well, once that time comes, then we'll figure out. I'm like, oh, so you don't know.
Yeah. I know I'm kind of bad because I brought it up in chat earlier. Somebody's like, is it bad? I kind of hope for lockdowns because I don't want to go on airplanes. And I was like, no, because I actually liked lockdowns because nothing in my life changed at all. Because I could still go to the store. I could still go to work because I have to go to work. There's not an option to work from home when you're a caregiver. So traffic was so much better. There was no drunk people on the highway. It was lovely. But I know it's very inconvenient for other people. The biggest inconvenience I had was everyone started shutting down earlier, like Walmart and Kroger's and everything. And I do most of my stuff at night, allergic to the sun. And I was like, but coronavirus, this is like a vampire virus. It's not hiding in the dark in the bushes to attack you. What does closing at, 8 o'clock do?
Mm-hmm.
You're just funneling everybody in at the same time to get sick.
Yeah, I just feel like they're moving the goalposts with this whole Delta thing. Now it's Delta Plus or something. At least that's what a relative of mine told me.
Yeah, variants keep happening.
Mutations.
Mm-hmm. Well, the more people catch it, the more it changes inside of them, and then you have more and more different kinds. That's always fun. It's like the flu. The flu does the exact same thing. The more people it's in, the more it mutates, and the more different. Like we have over 200, and well, it's probably more than that. There's hundreds of different kinds of flus. People always complain about that. They're like, I got the flu shot, and I still caught the flu, and I'm like, yeah, the flu shot only covers 3 out of hundreds.
Yep.
It covers the main 3 that are attacking your area at the time, and it's usually the ones that can end up being deadly. If you get the stomach flu, you're not usually going to die. So they don't really cover that one.
I don't think I've ever had the flu.
I've had it a couple times. It sucks.
I would rather have 2 days of the stomach bug than ever getting a cold.
Like stomach flus aren't that bad. I've had one of the major flus when I was like 4. It was horrible. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and close out. So do y'all have anything you want to say before we go?
Have a good week.
Woot. Anyone else?
Happy birthday.
Yep.
All right, so yeah, anniversary of the Minions. We've been going 4 years. That's a long ass time. It's surprising you can keep connections with people that long on the internet now, right? Like, we're doing a good job. Yay. All right. I have no idea what's going on in chat. All right, so thank you, chat, for coming out and listening. Thank you, people who are talking to me, for coming out and talking to me. And everybody have a good night. I got to find the button.